Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast with Nicole, Ashley, and Kalesha. And today we are getting into the mind, the heart, the spirit, the psychology of Irene and Claire with our discussion on passing. Stay tuned. Claire walking down with that wig and that powder on her face, talking about, and even her husband talking about he called her Nig because when he met her, she was white, and then she get darker every year. Part of me, I'm
You
like,
know,
did he secretly want to be with a black woman?
they secretly all do want some kind of black influence in their life.
Because I thought he wanted to be with a black woman, and I thought Irene's husband was liking Claire a little bit too much. Maybe he wanted to be with a fake white woman. So
I think
He
that's
was a
the
little
everybody
too
was
vibes.
friendly with
liking.
Claire.
I
That's the
think
vibes I
everybody was
got.
liking Claire a little too much. I think Irene liked Claire too,
Really?
I think
and that
Irene.
is that is criticism for like that's not me making up stuff. You go to any magazine, they talk about like the homoeroticism in the film and how like another form of passing is like people who have like homosexual feelings passing for straight. So like the different levels of passing would be the friendship between Claire and Irene that kind of lean towards romantic feelings for each other. The Irene pretending to have this happy marriage, that is a form of passing. So
Well,
I
yeah,
think that I'm not alone in like this shit. They gay. I'm not alone, I promise.
I thought it was more of a jealousy thing.
I thought so too.
Claire just kind of like stumbled into Irene's life and shook it up a bit. It's like they meet at the white people's hotel,
Mhm.
and Claire recognizes Irene, and they go up to the suite. She meets her racist husband, and after that she's like,
Mhm.
nope, done with her. But then Irene, no, Claire keeps she like sending her letters and notes, and Irene's not responding, and then she pops up at her house. To me, I think Claire is the one that got it is that might want to get with Irene, because she just pop
Yeah,
out her house
I agree.
for no reason, and Irene is like, "Girl, does your husband know you in this neighborhood? I still live in Harlem, honey, and I got a black husband and two black kids. Why are you here?"
I didn't view the sexual part. I didn't think about that. Not saying it's not present. I just didn't see that. But I think Claire envied the life of Irene. She probably viewed that as like, wow, she didn't change herself. She is black. She has a black husband and she has a well to do black husband. He's a physician. She lives in a home. She has, I'm not saying this a good thing, but, even back then or even now, people could view like you're able to afford help. You have
Yeah,
like someone that's there to be there for your children and cook for your family. You have a job. You have two boys. Like you kind of have like you're okay, live in a nice neighborhood, blah blah blah. Whereas a little bit of Irene is like, oh, okay, maybe I'm a little envious of her because I do have two black boys, and then she was talking to her husband about, they were called the N word and all those things. That's kind of a plight that maybe if she went with a white man and if things were okay, you would have lighter complected children or maybe children that also passed, and this is a plight that you won't have to experience with them. And then you have a whole white man and you assimilate into this whole white existence, and this is something that you don't have to have on your heart. You don't have to think about certain things. So maybe she envied like maybe the ease or the perceived ease that Claire would experience, and maybe she would experience if she was to have that life. So I think they kind of like had little things about each other that maybe they were jealous about. And I think that's kind of why they lean into each other, kind of to see more of each other's life. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
That's kind of my view. That's kind of what I saw. Like they were kind of like peeking in. If they were able to pass as black, this how your life could have been. If you was passed as white, this how your life could have been.
I thought Claire was kind of like sending Irene a call for help, like come
Oh
save
my
me.
God. I felt like that too. I also felt like, were you desperate for just some kind of blackness because your
Yeah,
whole life is white And it's like, dang, if I could just get me a real true friend since we were kids friend, like be my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I just need something, you know? So she was trying to cling on to Irene, cling on to the kids, cling on a little too much to the husband. She wanted anything black because her whole life was just so white. And I think she was doing it a little bit much, but I don't think she knew how to kind of
Pull it back.
put the top over it. She didn't know how to pull it back. She was just bursting at the seams, like she was scoping her down at the hotel. Like she was
Mhm.
like, wait, hold on. I know that's not Irene. I know that's not Irene. I know that's not Irene. Like you were staring this girl down, and she just couldn't get enough of her. She just wanted like, please be close to me, please be close to me. And Irene like, girl,
Speaking of
that's my thought.
Irene's husband, do you think he was traumatizing his kids, bringing up all the lynchings and then Claire being like, "Why are we talking about this in front of the kids?" And her husband's like, "Well, not Claire, Irene." And her husband is like, "The kids need to know."
I don't think he was traumatizing them because, and that's just my approach. I'm not a mom yet, but I would have that approach if I was someone's parent. You know, I don't want to do the whole sugarcoat stuff. I don't want to do that. Boy or girl, I don't really want to do that. So she may have concerns about maybe his approach, and she clearly did, but I personally wouldn't be upset with how he said it, you know. Just
I think this is what happens when you marry somebody light skinned who has passed for white.
Ooh.
Honey, what the fuck you thought she was gonna say to you? Like she hasn't had to her experience as a black woman hasn't necessarily been a typical one because because she was able to pass as white and she does still pass as white.
You talking
So
about
I just
Claire or Irene?
Irene,
Okay.
those types of conversations, she might not know how to approach them because her parents probably didn't have those conversations with her. Because, in a way, like there's a way for her to kind of escape some of that.
Mm.
It's just always funny to me, like when people partner with, like, you, you cannot, don't be partner, like, if people who partner with white people who have like
They can't
racist
talk about
families
race.
and then they oh well we raising the kids is tough. What the fuck you thought it was gonna be? When people partner with like homophobic people, fuck around and have a gay child, like what the fuck you think it's gonna be? Like I just I feel like that's a lesson for him and like who you have chosen to partner with. And I also think it's a lesson for her and like who you have chosen to partner with. You are with this man who is visibly black. He cannot pass for white, does not want to pass for white. And so yes, he's going to talk about the experience that these boys he has to prepare these children because you baby you the lightest person up in that house.
True.
You lighter than the damn porcelain. I'm gonna need for you to hush. I think that there's a lane that she needs to stay in as it relates to teaching people about a black experience.
oh, go ahead. No, go.
Listen, the only thing I felt was a little bit too much was the graphics. It's like you can teach your kids stranger danger and, be careful about who you hang around. But the whole, oh yeah, they were hung from a tree and body was this, and it's like I wouldn't say that. Not even today.
People are still lynched today. Like
Yeah.
that still happens today. But it's not in the paper every week. There's some distance that we might have to it that they do not. And so I think it's like I'm trying to teach you how to survive. Here's what this shit is. Like if I had a 12-year-old daughter who was like, I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. Now I'm like, do you know what childbirth is like, young lady? Let me tell you about what the fuck childbirth is like. Let me
Oh
tell you
yeah,
what
you can show the
happens.
videos.
But see, like, but that is graphic. Like
Yes,
telling a black little
but
girl, like, Oh, you do you know like the rate black women die in the hospital due to childbirth, like because they're not treated properly? Like, do you know? I think it's graphic. I think it depends on the kid. Like maybe you know it's necessary, and some of that I feel like he was like getting back at Irene because he could have did that shit privately.
Yeah, he did it in front of her face, and
I
then
think it was a little bit of animosity towards her.
yeah, I can see that.
It may be coming from a dynamic of like, mom is softer, dad is harder. It may come from like dad is going to be kind of like the lead parent when you have a boy, and a mom is the lead parent when you have a girl. It's all those different things. I don't know. And it may be something like that, or it may just be off the fact of like, oh my gosh, so and so boy A is a little bit, he's a little bit more sensitive than boy B. So I wish that you didn't say that. I don't know these backstories, with
Yeah,
the movie. So it could have had all those approaches, and then he's gone. It appears that although she has the help, she's in the house a little bit more. She seems like a working woman. Not saying she's in the house all day.
she was
It just
busy.
appears, yeah, it seems like Irene is busy. It feels like she's a little bit more with the kids than the dad. So she may have like, you saying all this stuff, but you're not here. You don't say it like
That
that.
is
She may be like that. I don't know.
She seemed like she was asleep all the time to me. Seemed like he was with them, or like he would be the one picking them up from school when they was out in the. I don't I. It seemed like they was with them kids equally, and she don't work like she works, but like
Does
she's
the
not getting
charity.
paid for that, and I don't think that that's like a full time gig. I just didn't see her. Like it got to the point where I was like, "Baby, why do you need a maid? Why do you need you? Do you need one? Anybody can have one. If you want one, have one. I don't give a fuck. If you want a maid, if you want a housekeeper, have a housekeeper. That is your business. In terms of necessity, I'm like, do you really? Okay. And now that you have a person to cook and clean, I would expect you to be with the children more. But every scene, it's him coming in with the kids. Hell, them kids want to see Claire more than they want to see you. So like I just don't the film I want to say I don't remember the book. I know I read it like multiple times, but I don't see her being with them a lot. I saw her being sleep. That's why when the little boy came and said like, "Oh mom, are you going to take a nap again cuz she always sleeping."
I No, definitely. I feel like now she's like I feel like just from that time, perhaps she was the not perhaps during that time moms are home. You know what I mean? And the dads are working, the men are working. So I'm thinking she's coming from that's I'm coming from that school of thought that even if she is how she is now, like she's definitely sleeping, she don't really get paid, but she's out of the house all the time. She gotta go, she gotta go, she gotta go. And he picking them up and things like that, but maybe she had like that beginning thing. So she's coming from like, that mom's perspective. Like, Nicole does not like carrots. Ashley do not like playing outside with no shoes on, Jim. Like you don't know these things because you're off. I'm the mom. I may not know everything, but I know how my daughter do not like this kind of food. I know she don't like wearing her hair like that. You know how moms kind of,
Irene went in Chicago to that whites only store to get her kids two toy cars. Baby, your kids trying to know about fucking. Them queer ideas your son talking about, he don't want no car. There seems to be a disconnect between Irene and her entire family. I feel like
I can see
especially when
that.
Claire comes in, it's like the housekeeper doesn't belong to her anymore. That them kids want to see Claire more. The I think she is just afraid for them to grow up. Period. You don't want to
I
teach the
think
boy
so too.
about sex? Like what?
She want to be like
Like
this.
okay, girl. The judgment that I feel like maybe she has for Claire is a bit because like maybe you have been sheltered in a way that Claire couldn't be sheltered. Claire was raised by her white aunts when you were raised by your parents. So you probably had access to black people in a way that Claire did not. And so Claire married that white man when she became 18, which means they was together before she was 18. So she was just looking for her ticket out of poverty.
Mm-mm.
So I just think that Irene has a life of luxury in a way that no one else has. Like you, like girl, need for you to grow up.
Speaking of Irene's marriage and the crack on the wall that keeps getting bigger, Brian and Claire. Because Irene even said it. You only up every time Claire comes around, all your problems tend to go away. You seem more relaxed.
Yeah, I don't like it. We can have friends. You can you can laugh and joke and sit at the table, and I'm in the other room. I do not care about that. It's the energy that always gets me because energy is always telling. The energy they was showing on the screen, it gave me pause. I'm not saying I cannot handle that. We are having a conversation. I'm not saying he did nothing crazy with her. I'm not accusing nobody of nothing clear. I understand. But it was the energy was high. In those minutes or hours they were together, he was 100% different. I would not be comfortable with that. Now you're gonna have to talk to me about it. You have to tell me something about it, or I have to be right with what I'm seeing. Because it do not take a person. It could take a stranger could see that it was energy exchanging. I did not like that.
Can
So
you
that
give
was
me an
very
example
uncomfortable.
from the film where the energy changes when she comes around?
Ashley,
Oh,
Ashley,
he was happier.
Can
When
you just
he
Claire,
was
give me?
happier.
I have asked for examples. I
Okay,
just want to
okay.
hear these examples.
I give you one example. I
Hmm.
don't know the particular scene. Well, I don't know I don't know the elements, but what I can say, it's a scene where the camera is zooming in on them, and they over there by the window,
oh,
and it's
Okay.
him, and they on each other. They look. It's me and him. It's right here,
that's when she dropped the
and her
teacup.
laughing, huh?
That's when she dropped the teacup.
So how did his energy change? I guess is what I'm saying.
It's actually it's not it's evident. It's evident.
He was happy.
It's
He
the
was laughing.
happiness.
That man ain't never laughed when he was with Irene. Everything was about
Yes,
these
yes, he.
boys.
But
Everything was
it's a
about
different
it's
one.
about they moving to South America, and he was always tired. He was always going to work and coming home from work. And then Claire comes in and they go into parties. Since when you go to parties, sir?
What
He
are
just
you
seemed
talking about?
his
What
energy
are you
changed
talking
hard.
about?
He only went to
Ashley, it was
parties
evident.
when Claire was there.
Yeah. I
You going too much now with all of this energy. You getting
He
way
was
you could
so
be happy, you can
tired.
laugh.
He was so
can I ask
tired.
two questions? I just have two questions for y'all.
Come on.
Who was the film was told from whose perspective?
Irene.
I don't know.
Irene.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe
say
so Irene. Maybe
Irene.
Irene.
Irene. Do you trust Irene? Do you think that Irene is all the way there? Do you think that Irene may have some type of emotional turbulence going on? Do if Irene told you something,
It's her
would you
perspective. Yes, I
okay?
agree. But he was happy. It's like there was a light. Well, everybody was, even the
That's
boys.
what I'm
Oh, it's
saying. Like
Claire.
everybody was happy. The housekeeper was happy when Claire was there. So okay, like
I'm not saying
everybody
I don't
was
think
happy.
we're not saying that we're not accusing Claire of trying to steal Irene's man, but it just seemed like it's like Claire comes in and it's like, oh, Claire's here, and it's like, okay,
I don't put Claire fucking Brian like I can believe that like they will fuck. I can believe that. It felt though that Claire is just an inappropriate person.
mm,
When Claire, first of all, you coming to the house is inappropriate.
true.
You came to my house, that is inappropriate. You you go in my children's room, you say you're gonna play with them, and then when you come out of the room, you take a pitcher of water or tea and you pour yourself a glass like this your house. This your first time being up in here. Like this is not your home. You talking to then in other scenes, you outside in the backyard with your fucking feet up
Hmm.
with my housekeeper. You got her having her feet up and y'all enjoying the sun. This is inappropriate. That first dance or function that they went to with Hugh, the writer. And Claire is like, "Oh, Brian, come on, let's dance." I know that some people are like, "My friend can dance with my husband." I'm not saying that I don't like it. I'm saying if Claire has come into my life in that oppressive way, I might not want her dancing with my husband.
Hmm.
I can't figure out Brian's intentions. I don't know if he's being condescending. I don't think it's as simple as I want to sleep with Claire. I do think it's inappropriate, but I don't think it's inappropriate just because of the sex. Am I making any type of sense? Like
Yes,
I
Claire kind
just
of barged her way into Irene's life, and Irene didn't really know how to handle it. Even in the beginning, when she tried to bring some distance, she did not answer Claire's letters, and Claire popped up at the house. It's like, girl, I did not answer your letters. Why are you at my
deal with
house?
it. Irene said, "I am the light skinned person up in this house. I will be
Oh
the
my
only
God.
one." The only one.
Another view could be, like the I didn't take into account honestly, all the sleeping and her kind of just being off and doing her own thing, and it kind of feels like their home dynamic, or maybe just their marriage or their relationship at the moment, it's not horrible, but it's kind of in that little lull, you know what I'm saying, where it's not the worst, it ain't nothing crazy catastrophic is going on, but it's also not like super exciting and everything like that. They kind of like this. So I think Claire comes in with this energy. She's super interested in everything, and she's coming in with this newness and this freshness, and I think it's actually a bit threatening to Irene, and it's exciting and refreshing to Brian. You know what I mean? And like you said, it may not be that simple. Honestly, it could just something be like, you know what, this just is new. I'm not gonna hurt my. I'm not gonna disrespect my wife. Not disrespect my marriage. But this is just. I'm enjoying this engaging conversation because me and Irene be talking about, whatever.
Yeah. It's like
I don't
everyone
know.
can be obsessed with her. As my husband, I need for you to not be obsessed with her.
And he's
And
like, this is fun.
yeah, and I feel like
Yeah.
Brian, the scene you're talking about, Kalesha, when
Mm.
they're sitting at the windowsill together. I think windows in this film very important.
I'll be
Oh yeah. Oh my
definitely,
God.
especially at the end.
Like so,
Hmm.
and also this is a party that they're having at their home. If you took a picture of that party scene and said, "Point the couple, who's the couple? Who are the married couple?" And I would be like, "Oh, the two people sitting at the windowsill together, like they're a couple. Those two
Oh,
people who are
and
close, like they're a couple."
pause right there. Claire, Irene did not invite Claire because
No.
when Brian was like, "Oh, who coming to the party is Claire coming," and she was like, "No, because you made it seem like you wasn't really feeling her, so I didn't invite her." And then he's like, "Oh, you mean she can be there?" And all of a sudden, Claire's at the party.
Well, he invited her
Well, yeah.
because Claire brought it up, and she was like hurt by not receiving an invitation, and he was like, "I'm sure she forgot. Come on over to the party, girl. Come on over." So that's what happened there now. And you've had this conversation with your wife. Now, if you see how bright your kids get when Claire's around, when you see even the housekeeper acts different, when you see that your wife feels uncomfortable around this woman, all right, you invited her. Okay, you ain't know what to do. She was sad. That's fine. But if you know your wife is uncomfortable, if you know that, why are you sitting on the windowsill with this girl? That's what I don't get. Like I don't understand what he's trying to do. I don't know if he cares about Irene. And like, are you? What are you doing? Or is he just like, this is just how some men are?
He may, and this maybe is devil's advocate or whatever, I don't know, but he's probably thinking like, what am I doing? I'm in plain view of you. I'm not secretly going on no dates. I'm not calling her and checking. I know it's whack because I ain't trying to support that, but he's probably thinking like, I'm not doing anything. If I danced with her in front of you, I'm over here laughing with you and laughing with her in front of you, ain't doing nothing. He may be thinking like that, and some men think like that. Like it ain't like I had a secret like lunch. I put up to her house. I brought her some clothes and got her these shoes. He ain't doing it. He probably thinking like, Irene, chill out. You're right there.
Irene already has it in her head, so it's there. It doesn't matter what Brian. If Claire never would have come to the party, it
Mm-hmm.
still would have been an issue
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe, and I'm not trying to be funny because mental instability is nothing to laugh at. I don't think that Irene is mentally stable.
Why?
There's too much sleeping happening.
She might be tired.
Okay. I think there's too much sleeping happening.
Might be drained.
I think that there's too many times in the film where like the sound gets warped or the visual gets warped, and I'm like, why are we doing that? And I feel like that is reflective of what is happening internally with her. The whole thing with the ending is like what happened. There's way too much that's questionable. When she sees that man faint, she seems so troubled by it, and I'm like, girl, what is going on here? The way she, even in the first scene with the housekeeper, the way she talks to her, nothing ever feels comfortable with Irene. Like nothing ever feels at ease with her. And I wonder if that's because there's some like emotional emotional something that's going on.
I think maybe she's just uptight. I don't know if it's stressed about trying to be found out because she kind of goes in and out of passing for white, like when she's in the white store getting the toys for her sons. She's it's like she's anxious. The only time she kind of felt comfortable to me was when she was walking down the street with her black friend and she ran into Claire's husband, and then she froze. And then she says, "Oh, that's the one person I met while disguised as a white woman."
Hmm.
And so I just feel like she's just an uptight, anxious person, even like with her family. In the beginning, when she sees her husband is tired and she has to drive him, so okay, I'll drive you. It's like she's very, what do you call it? Kind of like, I don't know if organized is the right term, but everything has to be done a certain way. Even with the maid, we have to have dinner now or groceries at this time. It's there. There's no freedom for her. Everything has to be done timely in a certain way. The kids need to be here. There's no fun.
I What you call uptight, I call mentally unstable.
I mean, she just needs
I
to
don't I
relax.
don't think that it's like those people like extreme cheaps cheapskates like that show.
Hmm.
And I'm like, this is not like y'all have some mental concerns.
Well,
Oh, I'm
it
not
could
gonna I
be.
don't buy cotton balls. I just use the fluffy stuff that comes out of the dryer. I use that. We need to pour the ketchup packets into the big ketchup bottle. It's like,
Well, in that
like
lane,
you
most a lot of therapists say a lot of everything kind of stems from our childhood, and so those
mhm.
little quirks, if you peel back the layers, it's something. It stems from something. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and it can probably easily be pinpointed and confronted.
I think she needs to be medicated.
Oh my goodness, then she gonna be
Mhm.
sleeping even more. She ain't never gonna be up. Is she medicated?
And how we don't know that she ain't already taken something which causing her to be sleepy that she ain't telling her family about, that she
Cause
insecure about.
cause that wasn't in
Y'all not think about that. You not think about that. That's the problem.
Did Claire want to be caught by her husband? Because before the party, when she was out in the backyard with the housekeeper, she was getting some sun, and her husband already told her she be getting darker every year, and so she wasn't trying
in
to
this
lighten herself
film.
up.
In this film, how does the husband find out in this film?
That
When at the end,
no, I think when he ran into Irene, that's what I
Now,
think
do
it
you think
was.
Irene could have played it off?
She could have. And I was thinking of that. Maybe she should just played it off. But then she was so disgusted that he was calling her the N word. That's when she stopped talking to her the first time. And so I think in
mm,
her mind, she was just like, why would I? And then on top of that, her and Claire's relationship is like shaky anyway. So it's like, Why am I helping this girl out anyway? Your husband is a pig, number one, and you
Mhm.
trying to steal my husband. So why am I helping you out? And then also she could have just froze. Like, cause then on the other, I was thinking about this too. She has her friend with her, so then for her to pretend to be a white woman, how do you interact? Do you push your black friend to the side and pretend like she's your mate or something? Cause then that's like being disrespectful to her friend.
She could have said, I mean, there's, it doesn't matter. She didn't have to say anything. He's horrible. I don't think she tried hard enough to tell Claire, like, hey, this is what happened. I saw your husband.
She called her
I
and she
think
didn't answer.
she didn't answer, and I think she probably thought, oh, you with Brian. Y'all out fucking. That's what's happening. That's what's going on. You know. What? And then when Brian come home, like, what you doing out here in the cold? Come on, we got to get ready for Claire. Like, cause he's so excited.
And
So it's
what time was that? Because it seemed like it was early in the like middle of the night that we just kind of went out and got some air. I'm like, where did Brian come from?
probably from work,
But it
or
seemed like it wasn't working hours to
probably from
me
fucking Claire.
because it seemed like Irene was just
He
got
ain't
up
did
in the
that.
middle of the night, just she went outside just to get some air, like maybe I don't know, whatever. She needed some
Why
air.
you saying he ain't did that, Kalesha? Y'all was the main ones talking about, oh, the energy off. Yeah, I don't
He
like
didn't
it.
do
I don't
that to
like it.
her.
Why y'all? So all of a sudden he can't be out fucking Claire.
I just want to know
Why
where
He
he
he?
did
came.
that.
I just want to know where
Why
he
he didn't?
came from.
Why he didn't do? Why he wasn't doing that? Why he wasn't with
I
Claire?
don't get I don't get that feeling. Like,
But
I
he was
really do feel
happy
like that.
too. For it to be cold outside, anybody happy when it's cold outside?
So you think he was with Claire?
I don't know where he came from. He could have been with some other chick.
I guess
I
what
don't
I'm saying is the
I
way
don't
y'all
think he's
don't
with
feel
anyone.
like it would have happened is the way it's like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like the reason why we feel the energy is off is because Irene feels like the energy is off, and this is all being told through Irene's perspective. So hell yeah, we gonna side with her because
But
we're
I
seeing
would
everything
see.
she sees.
Okay, but I get that.
The
But
he's out.
where
He's
did he
coming
come
from wherever
from?
he's coming from.
I'm just trying to figure out what time it was because it seemed like middle of the night. If this was 5 o'clock in the afternoon and he went and got a drink with his buddies after work or whatever, or he I don't know chilling at somebody's house in the afternoon, fine. But it seemed like middle of the night hours.
Okay, so it was the middle of the night. What'd that tell you?
He was doing something he didn't need to be doing.
Like what?
Listen, he was with somebody. All happy, come home happy. Cold outside. Anybody happy in the
What is
cold?
wrong with people coming home happy? What's wrong? He might be happy.
From doing what? Why are you so
Why you
happy?
gotta be happy? Dang! Why you can't be
Ashley,
happy coming home?
your man come home middle of the night, happy. Where are you coming from? Where are you
He's happy
coming
to see
from?
me. He's happy to see me.
Okay.
I don't think he was doing nothing with no Claire though.
But I think he had another chick. That's what I think.
Oh my.
Okay.
But do you your original question? I'm sorry for
Original
doing too much, but like,
question
do
was
you think?
Claire, did she want her husband to find her out? Because she was going down to Harlem quite a bit. She was comfortable going down to Irene's house quite a bit.
I think she got some confidence and strength from being around Irene and seeing her family. I think it gave her a visual that, you know what, I can live, and she even said it, that I can live a life that's okay and that's as much as it can be safe, and kind of have these ideals that in her mind she felt like she really couldn't accomplish unless she was passing. So
Hmm.
I think the more that she spent with her, it kind of gave her more juice, you know like her battery pack was recharged whenever she was around them, because it gave her, like, you know what, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can just take my kids and go, because if he finds out that I'm not white, I am going to go ahead, and he's not going to be with me. He may even try to hurt me. He may hurt my kids, so I'm going to take my kids and go, and I'll just start a new life, and he won't really have much to do over here on this black side of town because he's white. So it kind of gave her a little bit of something. I think maybe she she was closer to being okay with it after meeting Irene than she would have ever been if she had never met her. You know what I mean? Or re-met her.
I want to know how she was going forward this life without Tom. How was she? What life was she going to live?
I think she was gonna like see if she can not claw on, but it gave her hope. Like, look at Irene. Like, I know Irene wasn't making money and things like that, but it gave her hope. Like, hey, I I met the guy Hugh. You know, like I could talk to somebody. I can, I have confidence. I could try to get a job.
She was
You
gonna
know,
find her one of them black men she was
find a
dancing
way.
with at the party.
Yeah,
She was
I
gonna get
think
her
so.
one of them black
Yeah,
men and
yeah,
marry them.
yeah.
That's what she was
Marry
gonna
someone.
do.
That's exactly what she was gonna do. I When they were going up the stairs to that
Mhm.
apartment, which felt fitting because the tension for Irene just kept building and building and rising and rising. So you're doing that as you're going up the stairs, and you asking her like, what you gonna do if he find out? Like, I just come up here and
Mhm.
be with you.
No, that's not an
Yeah, she
option.
said that.
Okay. I don't think she was trying to get caught. I think that she enjoys
She
the
was having fun.
feistiness, the yeah, like she enjoys the danger of being in that liminal space. Irene does stuff for necessity and like uh kinda like you out toy shopping, you ain't gotta do that shit. I think Claire likes to be made a fuss over.
Mhm. I get that.
And so
I get
when
that.
he come inside, you not like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta get up out of here. You're not trying to be like, Tom, let's go, let's get out of here. You're
Mhm.
not trying to do any of that. You're just quiet. And what I don't like, what I don't like about Claire, you are not considering the safety of any of these black people up in here. Because
Hmm.
if some shit go down, who do you think the law gonna be looking at?
Hmm.
Not you and your motherfucking white husband.
The magic question: did Irene kill Claire? No one wants to answer. I say yes.
What do you think?
Yeah,
You think yeah?
I think she was kind of pissed.
So what do you think she did? She pushed her?
Okay. Yeah,
She
she
nudged
did.
her?
She did. First of
Oh
all, she opened
wow.
the window. The window would have been open if it wasn't for Irene, number one. And then two,
Understood.
when her husband came in, she kind of, it's like she pushed Claire out the way, but pushing Claire out the way was pushing her out the window. Like, you ain't
Mm.
gonna, I'm gonna kill you. You ain't gonna kill her. I'll kill her for you.
I got you, man. Hold on. Don't worry
One
about it. Let
moment.
me get this one for you.
What y'all think happened? You think
Is
it was
I'm
an
on the
accident?
fence, but she was troubled with Claire. I kind of feel like a little bit of this was like a nudge happen or a push happen, and then when she kind of like in a split second, like you about to do something, you like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, oh, if I would have did that, then you would
She
fail. If I would
snapped.
have did that, that would have dropped. If I, those kind of, those situations,
Irene
could have been
snapped.
small, could have, right. You kind of like did a quick snap. Like, oh my God, girl, if I would have bumped into you too close, you would have fell off that thing. Oh my
Or
God. Whew,
Irene blacked out, and when she came back, she was like, "Oh shoot, I pushed this girl out the window."
You don't put any stock into Claire falling out of the window herself.
Oh
N-
no,
I don't think so. I don't think she want to kill herself. Like, this girl is like on a quest for like this girl is not on trying to kill herself. This girl trying to live. She's excited about this new black experience she's having. I don't think she's trying to kill herself.
Because I think she understands the danger she puts herself in
But I
because
don't think
I
she want
think
to
if
kill
they
herself
were
for it.
I think if they were alone, Tom probably would have killed her,
oh yeah,
seeing as though he despises black people.
mm-hmm.
True.
And to know that his daughter is part
Oh,
black. So either Claire fell out of the window herself, Irene pushed her. What are the other options?
it wasn't the husband. I mean, that could be. Some people might think maybe he put his hand in there too, but I don't think he did.
I don't know. I don't know.
Claire and Irene, like,
Claire and Irene, I think. Again, because this film comes from Irene's perspective, we'll never know.
Oh, so you think she feels like she killed her friend?
I
Like
think
in
Irene don't know.
no, like
I
how
I
in
think
like in Eve's Bayou when Eve says she killed her daddy because she really believes she killed her daddy.
mhm.
So you think Irene believes she killed her friend?
I think she doesn't know. I think that is a
She
possibility. I think
know.
some days she wakes
She
up and like, did
know.
I do that? Did I
She
do that?
Mhm, mhm,
Judith Butler talks about this in her book Bodies That Matter. You be hanging on to a lot of particulars, baby. You looking at the way your husband look at her, you looking at you seeing everything. You dropping the tea kettle because you seeing them two on the windowsill together. You're paying attention to a lot. We get a lot of details when it comes to you observing people. When it comes to this girl and how she fell out this window, why we don't get details there? Why
Hmm.
that's all like, oh,
It's all
we can't tell
fuzzy.
what's going on. Like what
mhm,
why that's up for debate? Why?
mhm,
You know what
mhm.
I'm saying? That is why I don't trust her. It's like Autumn and P Valley. You can't trust her. You want her to win. Well, some people do. But you can't really trust her. So and that's how I feel about Irene. I don't think
Mm,
Irene knows. I don't think that Irene would allow herself to believe
That she killed
that
her friend.
she killed a person.
That's fair. She did it. And y'all realize this movie started and ended with somebody lying on the ground, falling out the window.
Mm. That man fell out the window.
Where he come from? He just maybe he could have just
I think
passed
he
out. I don't
fainted from
know.
the heat. I think he fainted from the heat. Yeah.
But was it hot? Because it seemed like fall time because there was so many leaves.
No, it was very hot. Remember, that's why she had to go up to the Drayton Hotel because she was like,
Oh yeah,
whoo.
yeah, yeah. Because it
So
was
I think
hot. Yeah,
I
he
think he
fainted.
fell from the
Okay.
heat, and I also think fuck Claire fell out from the fucking heat. The heat
Oh,
of
her
being like,
husband.
shit, I'm black. This white nigga know it.
So maybe that's the
I'm
answer.
out.
The man in the beginning passed out from the heat, and Claire passed out from the heat.
or Irene couldn't take the heat that Claire was bringing and got rid of her.
Ah, yeah.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the convo going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well, happy watching, love y'all, bye.